And good morning. Hey, it's Ken Walls. Welcome to Breakthrough Walls. Listen, today I have my good buddy Dan Kelleher. Dan the Waterman is coming on the show today. We gave it a really good old-fashioned try last week and just had some internet issues. So today, however, it looks like we are running crystal clear. So I'm bringing Dan on right now. Dan, welcome to the show, my brother.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm glad we got all this worked out and the internet gremlins are all gone. So what's up, Michael Coronado? What's going on? And by the way, for anybody watching, thank you in advance for sharing this out. Really genuinely appreciate it. So Dan, as we kind of started out last week, let's just start fresh today. And you know, this show's about helping people have a breakthrough in life that get stuck. We've all been there, so it's a very non-judgmental. We're not judging. It's I'm trying to provide valuable content via guest stories that are going to help people get unstuck in life. And you know, I know you very well. We've been good friends now for a while. You're a client of mine. I've done some work for you, and you know, like. It's just you've got a good story, man. You've overcome some serious things. What's up, Brian Hess? How you doing, bro? So let's start off with oh shit. Here we go. Let's start off with where you were born and raised, Dan.
It wasn't Philadelphia. We tried that last week, so we're gonna. I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
So I was born in Jersey. Don't hold it against me.
I don't.
But my dad was in the military, so we moved to Norfolk when I was, 6 months old or something like that. And that's where I grew up.
Okay. Well, my good buddy Frank Lopes lives over in Jersey, so I'd never hold that against anybody. He's a good dude. So, and I believe there's some really famous people from New Jersey as well. So,
couple.
Yeah, but you know, so you were a military brat, so to speak.
I was.
And
I was. When I was younger, my parents actually got divorced when I was 2.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I was a limited military brat.
So, did you stay in Norfolk? Is that where you were raised in Norfolk? Norfolk? I can never say it right. I know it's spelled Norfolk, but everybody says Norfolk if you're from down there. So
right.
But so you were raised in that area?
Yeah, I lived there till I was in 8th grade, and then we moved across the Chesapeake Bay to the Eastern Shore.
Okay.
Middle of nowhere. If there's a new stop sign put in, it's front page of the newspaper.
Wow.
So I spent five years there.
Justin Myers just put it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it out loud, but how you pronounce Norfolk. He did the phonetical spelling. But anyway, so you grew up in that area. How old were you when you moved?
8th grade. I don't know however old you are when you're in 8th grade. 13, 12, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So you, I think I told you before. My brother was in the Navy for 10 years, and that's where he was stationed down there in Newport News.
Mm-hmm.
They had a house down there, and so I would go out with him, and I'd go down there on vacation, and him and all of his sailor buddies, we'd go down to Virginia Beach, and I'd watch them all get into fights. It was crazy. But so you your parents got a divorce. How, like, as a child growing up, you know, I feel like there's always some sort of a childhood influence, a person, an event, something that occurs that kind of influences who we become as an adult. When I say that, what comes to mind for you? Was there any kind of an event or influence that kind of, pushed you into who you became as an adult?
I mean, I was really raised by my mom and stepdad, right?
Okay.
But until about 10 or 11, my mom was working 3 jobs just for us to be broke. So not only did I really never see her, but we were always broke at the same time. So it's got to be really demoralizing to work 90 hours a week for 3 different restaurants and still be broke all the time. So I think seeing that year after year after year, us living in the smallest house in the neighborhood, I think that really influenced the fact that I never want to be in that position, and I never want my kids to be in that position.
Right. So it was pain, that the pain of living in that and seeing all of that pushed you into being the hustler that you are today.
For sure.
Because I know, like, dude, I've called you, I don't even know how many times, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, out knocking doors. I'm like,
right.
Really? Yeah. You're like, yeah, of course, dude. I got to go out and make it happen. And that's, there's so many people out here. I literally just hung up the phone a little bit ago with a friend of mine that we were talking about, all these people out here on the internet, on social media that are, hustle, but they don't really, a lot, not everybody, but a lot of them don't, like, I've knocked on tens of thousands of doors, as I'm sure you have. Like, yeah. That's an education right there, man. That's hustle. But let's back up. So you ended up going to school in the East Shore area, is that right?
Eastern Shore, Virginia.
Oh, Eastern Shore, okay.
Yeah.
And did you end up going to college?
For 1 semester.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't remember the professor's name. He had a really big influence on me. But he owned a business, and I thought, I was 17 when I started college, and he owned a business. He was my business professor. I thought he made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I remember asking him one day, I said, hey man, just out of curiosity, how much money did you make last year? He's like, well, that's none of your business. So I said, well, it is my business because you're teaching me how to operate a business, how to run a business. You're a business professor. I want to know how much money you make. Right. So he stood up like a Cheshire cat all perched up, and he's like, I made 70 grand last year. I'm like, I quit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to school for 4 years, 6 years, 8 years to make 70 grand. Not happening.
No.
So, and at that time I was making more than him already. So, like, no, I'm good, dude. I'm good. Yeah.
I'm out. You don't have what I want. What's up, Jorge? Elizabeth is on here. Justin Myers. We got some rock stars on here. So yeah, man, that is, dude. I hear you. I didn't go to college, not for 1 minute.
I tried it.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, you gave it the old college try.
Right.
But so what happened after that? Like, you went into you went to college 1 semester. You realized that, okay, this isn't for me. I mean, where'd you go from there?
So my first business while I was in college, I owned a food delivery business. So where I lived on the shore, on the Eastern Shore, there wasn't pizza delivery, there wasn't Chinese delivery, nothing. And at that time, I was 17, but I was still a lazy shit sometimes.
Sure.
So one night with a purple crayon, a friend of mine and myself came up with a business plan to start delivering food for restaurants. Now it's everywhere. There's tons of companies that do it, but
yep.
But we were literally making $100 grand a year at 17 delivering food.
Wow. More than the professor.
Right. That's, teaching me how to run a business. I'm like, come on, man, get out of here.
That's awesome, dude. So you started a food delivery business. So that's way before Uber Eats.
Oh yeah.
And
way before.
What's that other one? I forget what it's called. I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere right now. We don't have stuff like that out here at all. Like, my Uber app doesn't even work. It's like, you're out of range. I'm like, what? Like, I'll pay extra. They're like, nope, sorry. But like, so you started your first business at 17, 18 years old. You're making great money. And again, I've known you long enough to know that you do have a not I don't want to say a chip on your shoulder, because that's not what it is. It's more of a I don't give a crap what you think. I'm just out here grinding and hustling, kind of attitude. And
That happened recently, though.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. I used to really care what people thought.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was holding me back. When you care too much about what other people think about you, their opinions don't pay your bills, right?
Nope, they don't. They sure don't. So you I mean, what? Still, I mean, I want to go back a little bit again, back to the childhood thing, because in growing up, there had to be. What's up, Greg Walker? Growing up, there had to be. What's that?
I was talking to Greg. Go ahead.
There had to be some. I mean, did you get in any trouble as a teenager?
Not really, man.
Oh, come on, dude.
No. I mean, I was in a cop car once, and it was because I went to go see a girl after curfew. That's it.
Really?
I didn't really get in trouble. I mean, I got in fights and stuff, but I mean, that's normal for that's normal.
Dude, I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So you didn't get you had a pretty clean childhood then?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I didn't really have a choice, man. I mean, as much as my mom worked her ass off when I was younger, I was alone a lot.
Yeah.
So it was kind of to the point where one of my best friends growing up, he had a little brother that me and him kind of raised, because his mom was the same way. She worked all the time just to stay broke. So me and him kind of raised his little brother from when we were like 9, 10, raising an infant, basically. Wow.
So you didn't have any siblings?
No.
You're an only child.
I am.
Wow.
I gave him enough work when I was younger, I guess.
Yeah. Wow, man. I didn't know that about you. So you had I mean, outside of it doesn't sound like you got to see your mom a lot. It sounds like she worked a tremendous amount of time. So outside of that, you had a pretty normal childhood.
I mean,
that's the word.
I used to get in trouble for bad grades. I was bored in school, and I hear that a lot. There's a trend in a lot of the entrepreneurs in the entrepreneur world that a lot of kids were bored.
Right.
I mean, like, I could really care less what the Pythagorean theorem is.
Right.
I mean, really, how's that gonna benefit anybody?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I played sports growing up. So I think that probably helped a little bit with my my vision.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. It definitely does. Jeremy Rubin's on here. Wow. John Davalito. Love those guys. So you play, what sports did you play?
Soccer and football.
Okay. Which ironically is just football in Spanish countries, right? So you grew up normal, well, not normal, but a fairly clean childhood. You didn't get in a lot of trouble.
Right.
And you started your first business. Have you ever worked for somebody else though?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think my first real job at 13, I was doing painting and framing and construction and stuff like that.
Okay. So you went, you had this business, food delivery. What happened after that?
So being that I was in college at that time, all of my employees, if you will, were college students. And where we lived, there was nothing else to do but drink and smoke weed. So one night there was a party and literally all of our people didn't show up and we lost all of our contracts.
Oh, wow.
So then I moved to Florida to sell water treatment.
Wow. Okay. That's it?
So that's it, man. I saw.
Hold it. You moved from the eastern shore of Virginia
Yep.
to Florida to sell water treatment.
Yep.
What's the backstory on that? There's more to it than that, man. Come on. Like, you just went, you know what? I'm going to go to Florida and sell water treatment.
So my dad was in the industry for 22 years.
Got it. Okay.
So after the Navy, he ended up in Florida. He was selling water treatment.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So from like 6 years old on, every time I would come and visit him, I would go on appointments with him, see demos, run leads, file paperwork.
Okay.
So I started learning the business when I was 6, 7 years old.
Wow. So how old were you when you moved to Florida?
18.
Wow, man. So 18 years old, you moved to Florida. Are you working with your dad?
So I moved in 2003. It was the same year that 3 hurricanes came through Florida. So he had a dealership he was a sub dealer for a company, and it didn't work out. So we both went to Rainsoft. I'll name drop a little bit. So we both went to Rainsoft.
Yeah.
I started as a sales rep. He was like the regional VP or something.
Yeah.
I
sold for Rainsoft.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's not. But that's okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So I started I really started my career with my dad at his own dealership, but a year after that we were both at the biggest Rainsoft dealer in the country, and worked my way up there.
Okay.
So within 2 years I was the number 1 sales rep in the world for Rainsoft.
Wow.
You know, and then I got promoted to a sales manager, then a regional manager. I was the youngest sales manager in the country for Rainsoft for 2 or 3 years. I took their office from like the worst office in the country to one of the best.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've, behind me you see a few books on my shelf back there, but I have other bookshelves throughout the house, and I don't even know where most of my books are, but I've read thousands of books. I read every single day of my life, and I'm always looking for ways to improve my sales skills, my business skills, my life skills, everything. How much studying, reading, learning have you done in your life?
To be 100% transparent, about 2 years ago, I didn't read a book.
Okay.
I couldn't stand reading. And I think the reason being is I found that every time I picked up a book, they all said the same stuff. Like, to me, it's like, put down the book, get to work. That's the message of almost every book.
Yeah.
Now, you can take nuggets from every book, right?
Yeah.
Like Gary Vee or Grant or you or whoever's the author will say something that you can take a nugget from that book.
Right.
But at some point you gotta put down the book and go actually get to work.
I agree with that. Totally agree with that. So you were just a natural salesperson. Nobody taught you anything.
I mean, I was in training. I got trained by other salespeople.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Which I like studying people.
Yeah.
Being in in-home sales is a completely different beast when it comes to sales. I mean, you've been in in-home sales.
Yep.
So you really have to learn how to read people. You have to learn what to say, when to say it, how to say it, what not to say.
Sure.
When to make eye contact, when not to make eye contact. You have to learn all that stuff.
Right.
Because if you don't, you'll suck.
Right. I agree with you. So but I mean, dude, if you went from not, I mean, let's be real, man. You're 18, 19 years old, and you're turning this dealership into the number one in the world. You're the number one guy for Rainsoft in the world. You're doing some unbelievable things. Like, I mean, did that just all come natural? Did you have a mentor, somebody that showed you the ropes? Your dad, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my dad definitely showed me the ropes. He was one of the top reps when he was a sales rep.
Okay. So he helped you hone your skills, or
for sure. I mean, look, he's military from the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that he always kind of hammered in my head was that don't reinvent the wheel. If there's a script for a reason. It's been written by people that know what they're doing, right?
Right.
I learned the script and then added my personality into it.
Okay.
What a lot of salespeople do is they think they're the bomb diggity, right?
Yep.
And they can come into any sales environment and just reinvent the wheel, and then they fall flat on their face.
Yep. It's true. Yep. I do. I've seen it.
So if you're working for a company that has a program in place, follow it. It's there for a reason.
Right.
And then be you. You can't be you and then try to follow a program. You have to follow a program and then be you.
Right. So what about, but like to take a company to a whole new level, you have to have some management and leadership skills and be able to motivate people to go out and do the deal. Where did that come about? How did you attain those skills?
I think just watching the people that were around me.
Okay.
One of the ways that I always motivated people was being the top producer. So, when you have people that are 40, 50 years old working for you and you're tripling their numbers every month and managing an office.
Right.
It motivates them. It pisses them off a little bit because not only are they getting beaten, but they're having to listen to someone half their age. Right. And anybody that tells you that's not irritating, it really is.
Sure it is. Yeah.
But you should never be not humble enough to listen to someone that is doing better than you.
Right. I agree. I agree with you. Yeah. Absolutely. So you did this deal with how long were you with Rainsoft?
8 years, 9 years, something like that.
And then what happened next for you?
So I moved up into management and I started getting the complaint phone calls. I want to talk to your manager's manager.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really saw how the company treated employees, treated customers. I mean, their mentality was, and I'll just say what it is, was hit it and quit it. They didn't really want to. They wanted to sell you a system and never hear from you again. That was their plan.
Right.
Which in my mind was always kind of backwards. How do you get referrals from people you never want to talk to again?
Right.
So my dad again started another company. He left Rainsoft and we started another company. But I didn't have the drive at that point to do it on my own. Like I didn't really have somebody. I was, let's see when that was, probably 26, 27, something like that. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't have the drive. I knew I could do it, but unless someone was on my ass constantly, right, I wasn't going to produce.
Right.
And at Rainsoft, that's what I had. So at Rainsoft, I learned it was old school. Like I would get checked in after a demo, and anybody in in-home sales knows what that means, being checked in, right?
Yeah.
So I would sell a deal, and I would get my pitch book thrown at me because I discounted it $50. Or I would get cussed out or told that I'm putting them out of business, stuff like that, for not selling it high enough.
Right.
So I didn't have the drive unless someone was kind of on my ass.
Right.
So I knew the sales side of the business. I knew how to door knock at that point, but I didn't know service. I couldn't install myself. I couldn't service equipment. So I said, who can I learn this from? So I positioned myself with Rainsoft to learn how to sell, learn how to telemarket, learn how to door knock, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Culligan at the time, they're going to get taken over by our company. But at the time, they were the biggest and the baddest water treatment company that had a huge service department.
Who? So Culligan?
Yeah, Culligan.
Yeah.
So I purposely worked for them for 3 years, three and a half years, to learn the service side of the business. So I was a sales manager for them. Again, took an office that was doing 30 grand a month to 400,000 a month.
Right.
But I wanted to learn the service side so I can learn every aspect of the industry that I'm in. Because if you're in an industry, you need to be the expert.
I completely agree with that. Completely agree. You know, it's what's funny is I was only in it for, I don't even know, 3 or 4 or 5 months, and I was the top rep. But you know, it's funny. I can smell chlorine and water from a mile away. Like, it's insane. Yep. Like, so, but that, you know, you get to know what, you know, you get to know the product. You get to know what, you know, your sense of smell, especially with water now. Like, I can't, there's certain water I won't drink. Like, in a restaurant, like, I won't even, like, no way will I have them bring me ice water. Like, bring me a bottle water. But even that, you know, as you know, is so you had this, and it's only been in the last, because weren't you with Culligan when I first met you?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, so it's only been a year ago that you went out on your own.
Yep. So I was part of we had a 10X mastermind group that a couple of friends of mine used to meet every month.
Yeah.
And they challenged me to quit Culligan by my birthday last year, which was August 30th. So I quit on my birthday.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I went in and I said, here's my phone, here's my gas card. See ya.
That's the way you do it, right? I mean, it's not necessarily. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't really matter, because, you know, when you decide you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going out on your own, there's no such thing as a perfect time. You can't, and there's no way to plan for everything you're going to face. You can't.
Dude, I was terrified.
Right? I know. Terrified. You called me that day, I think. I'm
probably
pretty sure.
Probably. I mean, I was making, you know, multiple 6 figures a year.
Yeah.
For me to just say, screw it, I'm going to go and make nothing.
Right.
You know, I was terrified, but I did it, whatever.
Yeah. And so far you've done one amazing job at branding yourself and getting, I mean, in my circles, our circles on Facebook at least, like, people know Dan the Waterman. You've really branded yourself well. So let me ask you this. So, you know, and you and I, again, we've had many conversations via the telephone and you know, text messaging, whatever. But, you know, the world is filled with 7.5 billion people on this planet. Not many people, when in comparison, you know, it's a very small percentage of people that actually go out and do their own thing, become an entrepreneur, go out and or become number one in their job, their sales job or whatever. So what do you think, in your opinion, when you look at, you know, people that are out here trying to figure out how to make it, but they just seem to be stuck? They don't know how to get past the hump. They don't know how to get to that next level. What do you think the number one thing is, in your opinion, that stops people, prevents people from making it, getting to the next level?
Distractions. And that can come in many forms. It can come in forms of people offering you jobs. It can come in forms of family members telling you you're crazy for going out on your own. It can come in forms of your own mindset, thinking you can't do it. I mean, distractions can destroy everything you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you think distractions are the number one thing that are holding people back?
For sure, because like I said, it can come in many forms. Most distractions are yourself, you know. And I posted about this a couple weeks ago on Facebook. I was spending like 3 hours a week watching people's or 3 hours a day watching people's live feeds.
Yeah.
Like, talking about nothing.
Right.
But I was trying to be supportive. I'm like, hey, I know this person. Let me go watch their live feed about a product I'm never going to buy from them.
Right.
Why?
Right.
And even myself doing interviews. So again, being real, unless you're going to bring value to people, like massive value to people, right? For free, you really need to monetize everything else you're doing. Like I have one of the ways that I branded myself locally is I have a bunch of referral networks. They're word of mouth groups on Facebook that have thousands and thousands of members, right?
Right.
So I've spent probably 1,000 hours in these groups managing them. So a couple months ago, I said, you know what? I need to monetize this. There's no reason I should keep spending all this time doing something for other people that I'm not going to be able to monetize. Not that I don't want to help people.
Right.
I'll help anybody anytime.
Right.
But there has to be a limit. There has to be a time when you say, hey, I'm helping X amount of people this many times a day, right? But I'm not helping myself. You can't help people if you're not willing to help yourself. If you're broke, you can't give people money, right?
It's true.
If you don't have time to spend with your family, you shouldn't be giving other people your time.
Yep.
So, and that all comes back to distractions. You have to really prioritize, and you have to have tunnel vision. Even if and I see a lot of people trying to do 15 different companies, right?
Yeah.
Like this person's in this MLM and they're doing this affiliate marketing. You have to stay focused. Even if you're doing multiple things at the same time,
right?
You have to have tunnel vision. You have to block off time. For example, we were talking about me door knocking.
Yeah.
When I'm door knocking, there is nothing else that's going to stop me from door knocking, except family. If my wife calls me multiple times, I'm going to pick up the phone, right?
Right.
But besides that, I'm door knocking. I have a goal. My goal is to get however many appointments that I'm going to get that day, and I'm not going to let anything stop me from doing that.
Right. So you said whoa, I started getting feedback. See if that fixes it. Nope, I'm getting severe feedback. See if maybe you turn your computer speakers down a little bit. See if that helps. Nope, getting severe feedback. There it is. It's gone. All right. So you set targets.
Right, for sure.
Okay. And those targets are like that, not just like how many appointments you're going to set when you're out door knocking, but what you're going to accomplish every day.
For sure, absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm old school, man. I have it always with me. It's my calendar book that has every goal that I have for that day.
Yep.
And everything that I need to get accomplished for that day, and I check them off as I go.
Right. So you're huge on setting the target. I'm getting severe feedback. God, it's driving me crazy, man. Let's see if this is any. No, it's bad. I'm gonna back away from the mic a little bit. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting bad feedback.
Back up more.
Is this any better? Let's see. I don't know. I'm hearing it. Hopefully the audience isn't. Anyway, can you turn your speakers down? Way down. To where you can barely hear me. There.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you. So, I'm still getting it a little bit. Whatever. I'll push through it. So with the setting goals and targets has been huge for you, right?
Yep.
So Sarah Isabel is on echo, she says. So with the targets, like you say, I'm going to go out and set 10 appointments today, and do you stop short or do you always hit your target?
Always hit it.
Good.
I don't care how late I got to work. I always hit it.
Good. So the person that is, because I know there's no way that you can be an entrepreneur. There's no way you can be in sales and not have faced some financial hardships where you're like, you get into a slump, or you leave a job, or you move to something else. And or whatever, and you hit a wall where you're like, I can't figure out how to freaking pay the bills. They're repoing my car. I'm being evicted. My electric's getting shut off. I can't feed the kids. Whatever it is, right? To the person that's stuck, that doesn't know which way is up, they're sitting around maybe feeling sorry for themselves, or they're just sitting paralyzed in fear because they just don't know what to do. What do you say to that person that's stuck and they don't know? And I'm not talking about like, there's plenty of whiners and crybabies out there. I'm not talking about those people. We know what to tell them. I'm talking about the person that's it's like the Grant Cardone, don't be a little, what on it. But what do you say to that person that's stuck, man, that they have all the potential in the world, but they're stuck and they don't know what to do?
I think part of their problem is they haven't found what they want to do. So I see a lot of entrepreneurs that they bounce to like 1,000 different things, right? It's because they haven't found that one product or that one company that excites them enough to stay there. So I think the key there is to find what you really want to do. Is it you want to own a cleaning company, or you want to be a house flipper? Like, what do you really want to do? Because that's what's going to get you off your ass.
Right.
You going and doing something that you don't want to do is just going to keep you stagnant. It's going to keep you where you're at. So I think that's the key, man. I mean, you gotta, in order to break through walls.
Yep.
You got to figure out what is going to motivate you to get you off your ass. I mean, that's it.
Yep.
And sometimes you need help. You need help finding that. Sometimes you need to reach out to people.
Yep.
Like Ken or me or other people that are in this community, and they can help you find what you want to do. But you got to be okay with tough love. I had a friend reach out to me a couple of days ago. He's like, dude, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I keep joining all these companies and I'm never successful at them. I said, dude, it's because you're bouncing everywhere. Like, what do you want to sell? Well, I like helping people with their health. And this dude is ripped, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you become a personal trainer? He's like, I never thought about that. I'm like, dude, your biceps are like bigger than my head. Like,
right.
Just do it. If you like, he likes teaching people. So if you like teaching people, you're in shape, you want to get people healthy, become a personal trainer. Yep. So you can't just do 1,000 different things. You got to focus. And that was part of my problem. Kind of like a lot of people that are probably watching. I've been in Amway, I've been in Monavie, I've been in, 1,000 different multi-level marketing companies, but nothing excited me enough to get me to build it.
Right.
So dirty water apparently excites me.
Well, I think it's the end result, right? I mean, I've been on the receiving end of that end result of putting in an unbelievable water system and reverse osmosis and a great filtration system, whole house, and people calling me. I remember a mother calling me because they couldn't get rid of their children. Their little girl had eczema real bad, and the city water was just making it worse. Yep. And they didn't know what was making it worse, but it was bad, really bad. And it only took like 2 or 3 weeks after we installed their system. She called me in tears, like it was completely cleared up. And,
for sure.
And so it's that that's it's the end result, being able to, I do, website development and I'm building one for my, Lisa Copeland, who's a great friend of mine and a client of mine. And I sent her yesterday, or was it yesterday or the day before? I sent her what we've done so far, and she was like, "I love it," and she's so excited about it. And that's what I love, man, is that end result of doing something for somebody else and watching them get excited about it or having them experience massive results as a result of it. So that's what it's about. You got to find something that you're passionate about, something that, and I'm not, and look, I've been very successful in sales jobs where, selling siding. I made a hell of a lot of money selling siding and windows at one point, but I'm not passionate about siding and I'm just not. I'm sure there's somebody out there that is. I'm not one of them. But I made a lot of money at it because I knew what I was doing, and it's something people needed, right?
Right.
So, I think you're spot on, man. You gotta find that one thing and get laser focused on that one thing. And I've said that before. I've posted. We see people post stuff like that all the time. So,
oh yeah.
So what's next for Dan? I know you got a lot of stuff happening, man. What's coming up?
We're franchising. So we're gonna. Our goal in 10 years is to be the top. Not goal. It's gonna happen. We're gonna be the top water filtration company in the world.
Wow.
So. There's a big mark we need to hit. The top company right now does about $9 billion a year in sales.
Wow.
So, we got some work to do. I mean, we're already a 7-figure company, but right. to get to a 10-figure company, that takes some work.
Yeah. It does.
So if anybody watching, loves sales and loves palm trees and beaches and wants to come sell water filtration, I'm always looking for great people.
Yeah. So but you have offices outside of Florida, right? Franchises.
We're in the process of opening offices in North Carolina and Virginia.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. In 1 year.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy.
Man.
But I can text you at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes and you reply. And then text you at 7 a.m. and you reply.
It takes work, man.
Right. You're nonstop.
Nonstop.
Right.
I mean, I've to be again transparent. I've cut back a little bit. We've been having some. Our kids we have 5 kids now. Yeah. So I want to spend time with them. I'll never miss one of my kids' football or soccer games.
Yeah.
Or any event that they want me to be at, I'll never miss it. There's nothing more important than that to me.
Right.
But you have to prioritize.
Right. Yeah.
For sure. Priority is number one's family.
You've got somebody on here saying, Sarah Isabella saying, what about Texas?
Texas water's bad too.
Yeah. Water's bad everywhere.
It is. We'll get to Texas.
Yeah.
I have someone that I'm working on getting over from Texas to move over.
Yeah. So you're franchising, you're expanding your brand. What is the name of your company?
So Water Filter Warehouse is the name of the company now, but we're in the process of rebranding to another company. And Water Filter Warehouse is going to become more of a wholesaler where we sell to plumbers and other water filtration companies.
Okay. Are you allowed to talk about your new brand yet?
Not yet.
Oh. Okay. It's a big secret.
You can do some research on my social media and find it, but I'm not going to talk about it yet.
I got you. And speaking of that, where can people follow you, man?
You can send me a friend request, Dan Kelleher on Facebook. You can connect with me via my public figure page, facebook.com/Dan Kelleher. Instagram, Dan Kelleher _. I mean, okay. I'll give everybody my cell phone number. The more people that have my number, the more business I get.
That's right. What is it?
813-965-5109. Call me anytime.
There you go.
If you want to get clean water.
What if they just want a loan?
I'll talk to you too.
Oh, dude. So, and we're coming close to the end here. So what last words of, again, this show is about helping people. They don't have to be entrepreneurs. It can be anybody. Right. about helping. And you and I have talked about some people we've had reach out to us that are definitely stuck. And,
Oh, yeah.
what do you say to somebody? I mean, give some parting words of advice, some wisdom to help somebody. Sarah wrote something, a long paragraph here. I don't want to, go into the whole thing, but she says it's always been hard for me picking one thing because I want to do it all, and I like helping people in many different areas of life. What would you say to somebody, like anybody that's stuck? And I'm not saying Sarah's stuck, but I'm saying anyone that's stuck, give some parting words of wisdom, some advice to somebody that is watching right now, that the electric's getting shut off tomorrow, they can't feed their kids, they can't pay the bills. What do you say to them, man?
First off, I've tried that. I've tried to do 1,000 different things at once, and it does not work. You gotta find that one thing that you're passionate about. Like every author that's behind you right now will tell you the same thing. You can't build a multi-billion-dollar company, 30 of them at the same time. You gotta focus on one, build that one to the point where you're able to step away from it and build another source of income. You're never gonna get where you want to get by not focusing. So you got to get rid of the distractions. You got to get rid of the negative people. Even if you're an employee, right? If you're not passionate about what you're doing, if you're not passionate about the vision of that company, you got to go do something different. You're not going to be happy. And if you're not happy at work, you're not happy at home, and everybody's miserable, right?
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yep.
If you're not happy, no one's happy. Happy wife, happy life, right? Everybody's heard that before.
Yep.
So, number one, get rid of the distractions. Number two, make sure you're passionate about what you're doing. And number three, anybody that's negative in your life, just tell them to go away. There's no room for negativity.
I agree. 1,000%, man. There you have it. Get focused. Absolutely get focused on one thing, right?
Yep.
Get rid of negative people from your life. And don't get distracted.
Absolutely.
Was there anything else? Did I get them all?
You're good.
Good. I don't think I did them in order.
That's
anyway,
okay.
Hey, Tracy, how you doing?
All three of those and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, it's definitely, the biggest thing is get focused on one thing.
Right. Stop taking advice from broke people.
Oh, my God. There's a lot of broke people giving advice, man.
Dude, and I'm not gonna, call anybody out, but there's a lot of people in our area, in our network,
yep,
that they appear to be something they're not.
Oh God.
And I posted a post yesterday about people blowing smoke up your ass, right?
Yep.
Everybody can paint a perfect picture, right?
Yep.
Everybody can tell you that their whole life is made of gummy bears and unicorns or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah. Rainbows.
Whatever. I like gummy bears.
Okay, gummy bears and unicorns.
So, but a lot of the time they're not. Like they'll turn off the camera. They're someone completely different.
Yep.
I had, and I'm not going to say who it is out of respect, but I had someone tell me that was supposed to be a coach that I would never succeed without their help. Right? What kind of coach says that? I mean, really. So just be very weary of who you take advice from.
Yep. I agree.
Right? Make sure they're an expert in the field you want to be in.
Yep.
If you want to be successful in a field, find the person that's the best in their industry.
Yep.
Learn from them and then kick their ass.
Yep. And I gotta throw this in there. If you are a business owner or you're selling something, do you think it's and Zig Ziglar used to talk about this. I loved Zig. But do you think it's a good idea that you're also a customer of the product?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have to be. Right. I don't know how people can, how could you go sell Jaguars and not drive a Jaguar? I don't, you got to be sold on it, I think.
So they shouldn't drive a Pinto at a Jag dealership?
Well, I suppose you could, but I think that your belief, and Tony Robbins talks about this, the belief, your belief system, what's holding you up, the legs of the table of your belief, or belief system. And like, the more that you are engaged in the product that you're selling, the more that you're using it yourself, I would just imagine, I think it just makes logical sense that you're going to be, a little more, believable. Like, I actually drive a Jag, and that's why I sell them, because like, I just love this car.
Well, that's like that. A good analogy for that is like taking weight loss advice from a fat doctor. It's like, dude, really?
Right.
Like, how about you go lose some weight and then come talk to me about the shit.
I have a story about that, but we'll save that. Tracy said we're getting echoes again. So, okay, well, listen, dude, thank you. I really appreciate you coming on. I know you drove over to your office to make this happen. I appreciate you doing that. The internet at your office, for the record, is much more stable than at home.
It better be.
It is. So, thank you. I appreciate you coming on and doing this. You're awesome. You're one of my top 5 best friends, probably on social media at least, and I think you're a hell of a dude. And I know you're a hustler, man. You're a hustler. So, anybody that wants to buy a water filtration franchise, hook up with Dan. He definitely will train you. He'll show you the ropes, and it's a great it's a great industry. I made a lot of money in the industry myself. So, thank you for coming on. Thank you to everybody who's been on here that shared this, liked it, loved it, laughed at it. We got a lot of laughs. But thank you to everybody. Dan, don't hang up. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Peace out.